trying to complete this sketchbook. I'm only that far in, so I've got all that to finish, and I'm really trying to finish it because I'm terrible at starting sketchbooks and not finishing them. So this is the one I'm closest to finishing. I've been trying to paint every day this week. I know, like, for someone who loves like to paint and draw, you would expect them to do it every day of the week, but sometimes I just feel really unmotivated. And because I'm trying to finish this sketchbook, and the Royal and I do like to add watercolour to a lot of my sketches, the Royal Talens paper for all the greater sketches, and you can add light like amount of water. I'm terrible at putting way too much water on them, so obviously the pages do buckle a bit and bleed and leak. and they're not the best when it comes to like letting anything blend. I know I use the Rembrandt on these. Posca's markers seem to be fine, they don't seem to have too much bleed through, but do you know what I mean, like that's from this and it bled through onto these pages, and just not the easiest. Pens seem to be fine though, whenever you use like any form of pens, they're alright, seems to hold. There's a little bit of bleed through, but yeah, the pages do buckle slightly, that is the only thing about them. But I've been really trying to finish this off, so I did these in the last videos, and then I just thought I'd quickly show. I've already done like a little sketch before, some bits that I've done, so I did this on the Monday, I believe. This is just using the Winsor & Newton, I just grabbed one random colour. They're actually like calligraphy inks that I've been using, and it's just the crimson and then the black. Sorry, the crimson for the background. The black ink that I actually used is like just a standard ink, it's not calligraphy ink, but it still also is Winsor & Newton. Really pigmented, these are really good. The Winsor & Newton inks, you only really need to do one cover and it's pretty much perfect, where the calligraphy ink is obviously a bit more, I'm assuming a bit more water based, so I tend to find like you have to do about 2 coats. So I did 2 coats of the red, and the calligraphy ink was the yellow one as well. I had to do 2 coats of that as well, but the black was just 1 coat. There is some tear and damage though. I don't know whether you can see it very well, but just bleeding through, so it does buckle a little bit, unfortunately. I got inspo for this one off the book that I'm currently reading, which is Gallows Hill. I was looking at the house, I was like, oh my god, yes. So I do like kind of like a similar house style with like the angled windows, but obviously you can't tell that, and I just did everything black and just ink. And it's a really good book as well if you want any horror-esque, thriller-esque, monster type, ghosty books. So that's why they got the inspo for that. I randomly tried, because I haven't drew hands in ages, I went through a phase, which I'll show because they're all on my Procreate, same as the logo for my actual channel. I had a phase of like doing hands because I was really trying to learn how to draw them and paint them. So this is like Procreate, I haven't fully finished everything, but these random pieces were when I did a postcard design for National Bat Monitoring Programme for their sunset survey. So that's why there's random silhouettes, because there had to be people looking at like a house and doing a bat survey basically. But I just want to quickly show, these were like the period of time when I was really fascinated with drawing hands. But yeah, I went through like a fascination of drawing them, just trying to draw different shapes, doing random little patterns on them. It's so much easier as well on a digital, obviously, app to draw, because you can constantly erase and there'll be no like line marks, there'll be no smudge marks, and you can pretty much keep doing it until you get like perfection. And then I did ones with like random butterfly, I did that kind of style. I always seem to add really long nails to them, I don't know why. Hands I drew, and then I drew sunflowers behind it, almost like tattoo style. That one. So a lot of the times I photograph my hands, like my own hands, even though they're not the nicest, in like different positions to draw them, and I just randomly drew one, and that's just with a I always forget what they're called, pendulums are they, where you hang and you're supposed to do the yes no to them and that, and I tried to draw that. Obviously added nails, and I always like to add long nails, and some rings. I tried to draw some men. I've never drew men before, it didn't work out too well. I don't know why this one came out looking a little bit like Van Gogh, but there you go. These are just 2 random photos I found online. I just searched for Victorian men, and try to draw them. I haven't finished them obviously, but I did that on the Tuesday night, these 2. This was another fail. I cannot draw trees for the life, like to save my life. I just wanted to try for the background for the, I only have these 3, but I really wanted to try out, I got these like a few years ago off my mum as a birthday gift, and they came in like a little pack, and it's the Schmieke super granulating watercolors, and I want to give them a try. That's why I did the background with these 3, if I can get it to focus. So you have forest green, sorry, my eyesight's terrible, forest green, forest blue, and then you've got forest grey. I just did a mixture of these, so obviously you can kind of see, if I bring this closer, it gives like this, almost like as if like you've mixed sand in it. Obviously I know it's granular, like that's like the kind of granulated effect. I do like it, I'm just not the best. I don't know what, like what kind of thing you could do for them. Obviously I did not let it dry enough, so the pages did stick and I ended up ripping it. But yeah, not the best at trees. I need to add leaves to this. I did try to attempt a deer, that also went horrific, but we live and we learn. That I did on Wednesday, I believe. The background I did the night prior, the one the Tuesday when I drew these. And leaves. These were using, because I did, you'll have seen in the beginning, I did a few using these. These are just Cotman, Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolours that I've put in this random cheap palette that I bought off eBay, I think at the time, like years ago when I got this. It was literally like £4 or £5. Now palettes are like really expensive to buy, which is why I just put a lot of my watercolours in containers. I mainly stuck with this side. I did use a little bit of the magenta and a little bit of the violet, but I really went in with the orange, the cadmium yellow, sorry, the lemon yellow and the like sap green, and a bit of is it Van Dyke green or vermilion green? I can't remember what colour that is. I've got my Cotmans all in a tub, I'll have to try and find them. The outlines, I just used the Winsor & Newton brown fine liner, just to give it kind of like a ruggedy effect. Trying to get a bit better at drawing trees and plants and like leaves, and I know leaves are quite hard, so obviously I know I just do like a random fine liner outline to give a bit more of like what would you call it, a bit more of like an illustrative look to it. And I did these the next day, another version. This is randomly on my candle that I always light in the beginning of the videos that I'm trying to finish. I don't know whether without burning the candle out. That's like the picture with the pomegranates. I've just been trying to like look around me just for sketch inspirations, just to kind of fill up my sketchbook a bit. Did the leaf thing again with just the Winsor & Newton brown outline. Outlined the pomegranate as well, but you can't tell. I way overworked it. It was way better. I didn't video this one, unfortunately. Was way better at the beginning because this bit was all really pale, which a pomegranate is on the inside. It's quite white, these bits, like the skin of the pomegranate, and then the outside skin is like a dark, like almost like a red magenta-y kind of colour, the same as like obviously the little seeds that you get out of them. I do love the Cotman watercolours, I won't lie, but once again, like I say, the Royal Talens books, for all they're brilliant and that, because they're not really particularly that expensive, they're not the best with watercolours. They don't really blend that well, and they like the pages do buckle, as you can see. And then I did these ones once again, Winsor & Newton brown. I used the Winsor & Newton grey, but I don't even know if I get to focus if you'll be able to tell, but this is the Winsor & Newton grey. So I just did that. As you saw in the video, I did the outlines, pencil outlines, sorry. Then I outlined them in the fine liners, rubbed that out, used the Cotman watercolours. For these two though, I did add the Faber Castell, I'm just going to pick any random colours, Polychromos pencils on top. And then as well as that, I used the background. I just randomly decided, I didn't video, the camera died when I went to do this bit, but I used the Rembrandt pastels for the background. So for this side I used like this lemony green colour, which is permanent yellowish green, and then I used a little bit of this minty colour, which is permanent green deep, it says, even though it's quite light. And then I did a bit of water on to smudge it out, and then I just blended the rest out with my finger. And then for the background, of this one, I used, it snapped unfortunately, but I used a little bit of this turquoise blue colour, and then I used a little bit of the sky blue Rembrandt. And then once again just smudged. These ones I didn't do anything. I originally went in with the Polychromos sky blue, and then I did a little bit of shading with a darker blue, which was more of a, I can even get it out, which was like this more like light ultramarine colour. Did that around first, and then I only did the corners really, and then underneath the leaves to almost give like a shadow effect. And then I went in with these two Rembrandt, and then just the same, smudged with my hands. To stop it from smudging, I then sprayed in a ventilated room because I don't like to breathe anything in. I used this, the Winsor & Newton Professional Fixative Spray. Basically it's supposed to prevent any like dust getting settling. Obviously it's a book, so it'll be closed, so I doubt any dust really gets on them, but just prevents any movement and budging, especially with like pastels. Obviously they usually come off, but because I've sprayed it, they're okay. And then lastly, I did a quick sketch of a little scene from Howl's Moving Castle, because I haven't done a Studio Ghibli scene in like ages. I want to say even maybe years. because I've been really trying to practice like more just going with the flow with my sketchbook. I'm trying to force myself to not be so critical, and try to make every page perfect, and that at the end of the day it is a sketchbook, and I just want to be able to just freely just draw whatever comes to my mind, which is why I've been using things around my room as inspiration. You've probably seen randomly came up my feed, on my Facebook feed, and it was this little picnic scene of Howl's Moving Castle, and I was like, oh, so I quickly did a sketch of that, just an outline. Might outline it with fine line and then just go over with a little bit of Faber Castell, Polychromos maybe, or maybe use the Cotman just for the water and the landscape, but maybe for them I might just use a bit of pencil. Basically what I've done so far in my sketchbook since the last time I saw yous, I love like kind of like horror-y looking elements in that. I should really do more of these. That was obviously the last video, them two, the last video and that one. So yeah, so that's pretty much everything so far that I've been really up to this week. Still haven't found like what type of art is my style, which is why I always go in and dabble in different things, in different medias. But yeah, when, like any other creative person will know, when you've got just so many different hobbies and so many different things you want to do, you sometimes kind of put things on the back burner a little bit. But yeah, so that's basically all I sketched this week, which I showed yous. Feel free to give this video a like if you've enjoyed it, even though it's a bit of a shorter video than usual. I am trying to do better and post every week as well. But yeah, let me know down below what you guys love to sketch, what sketchbooks you like, and yeah, thank you for watching, guys. See you later. Bye.